I want to talk for a minute about an issue that all of us deal with, something that I've talked on even very recently, and something that I've experienced personally. So I know it is an issue, something that we all deal with, and that's the issue of fear. All of us, whether we like to admit it or not, have experienced fear, do experience fear, struggle with fear, get over it, and then deal with it again. It's something that comes back again and again. I want to talk about one particular aspect of fear today. But before I do, if you have found these videos to be helpful, if you maybe just stumbled on this one and this is the first one that you've seen, go ahead and subscribe on the page. You can hit the like button and the bell for notifications as new videos come online, and I do my best to get new content out as often as possible. So fear, this is an issue that we all deal with, and we can talk about the fear of what might happen in the future, the fear of not being good enough for the series of events that we're involved in right now. Maybe they're good things, but I'm just not good enough. Maybe something's unfolding and I'm not sure I'm good enough to come out on the other side. Really, that's fear. Perhaps it's a fear that God has a plan for your life and you have a vision maybe of what that would be, a direction that He's taking you, but you're just not sure it's all going to work out. There's a fear of how this is all going to come together. Maybe there's a fear in your own life, in your home, about your children or some other relationship. Fear is individual, but it's something that we've all dealt with and that we've all encountered. There are a lot of things I could say about this, and I had the opportunity even this last week to speak on this, and just working through that myself for the opportunity to present it to others was very helpful to me. But there's an aspect of fear that I think is really important and one that we need to talk about, and kind of this is the get real around this topic moment for me. And the issue around this topic of fear that we need to acknowledge and we need to understand is the issue of control. Because really, when we talk about fear, what we're really talking about, if we could just boil it all down and sum it all up, what we're really talking about is that we don't have the ability to determine an outcome. Maybe it's the outcome in the lives of our children. Maybe it's the outcome in our own finances or our own future somehow or some relationship. Really what we're afraid of when we talk about fear, really what we're dealing with is a lack of control. We look at people who we would consider maybe control freaks. They have to control everything, or those in a business setting that we call micromanagers, or in relationships, the person who's always controlling. Really, control is nothing more than saying, I want to hang on to something so tight that I can determine the outcome. And if I feel like I can't control something, that lack of control is replaced with fear. Fear comes into my heart, and then it begins to overwhelm me. There's a lack of control, and so there is fear. We need to understand fear for what it is. It's a lack of control and an unwillingness to put our confidence in really God. The Bible tells us in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6 that without faith, we cannot please God. Why? Because God has plans for us that are bigger than we would ever have for ourselves. He has hopes for us that we would not have on our own. He can see down the road, and maybe there's some difficulties along the way, but He can see where He wants to take us, and that becomes extremely scary to us, and so we're afraid. Why? Because we can't control it. And if we have to have control, if we're unwilling to have faith, we need to maintain control, then we'll only ever be as good as we can be. That's it. But when we're willing to let go of the control and take one step at a time, trusting God to direct our paths as He says He will, to light our steps as He says He will, having faith, what is faith? Hope, confidence, assurance in Him instead of ourselves. When we're willing to have faith and let go of control, then what happens? That faith carries us forward. The burden of the need to be always responsible for how things turn out, it goes away because our faith is in Him. A lot could be said on this topic, but I would encourage you today as you look at the fears in your own life, the things that you're struggling with in your own life, understand that for the most part, fear is just an unwillingness to let go because we want to determine the outcome. Turn your gaze and your heart from what might happen in the future to a God who has a great plan for your life. Have faith, hope, confidence in Him instead of the need to control every aspect of how everything in your life will turn out. Hope this has been a help to you.